Good morning and welcome to the Sabi Sands to Djuma and Arathusa Game Reserve. It is a beautiful, beautiful day and we are looking forward to whatever we may be able to find this morning. Now, we've started off by following up on some wild dog tracks. For those of you who didn't watch yesterday's afternoon drive, Mark luckily found 3 different wild dog that kind of joined up together briefly last night. There could have been more members of that pack that we simply didn't see, or Mark didn't see before they may have all rejoined and gone to bed last night. But we did find some tracks this morning just behind us on the main access road, and we assumed that they would take this road here, Aubrey's Road, but there hasn't been any sign of their tracks here. We can just see further back on the main road there was a lot of up and down and greeting, it appeared. So they would have been waking up, a ritualistic greeting that they would have given one another and then headed off. Now, they could have headed off in any direction, and we are hoping that they would have taken this road. So we're just going to check a little bit further down here. So far, there haven't been any tracks. So they could have simply decided to head off through the bush, which they do sometimes do. Excuse me, let me just check this out quickly. Interesting. So now we have some leopard tracks heading towards where the wild dog were. They do appear to look like female leopard tracks, so who knows, maybe Karula's back in town, which is a great sign, but no sign of the wild dog coming down this road. So we're just going to turn around quickly and have a closer look at these tracks behind us. There aren't too many roads that the wild dogs could have taken other than this one, if they were to take a road to travel on initially this morning. Either way though, very interesting for us in that there was wild dog tracks, hyena tracks, and also leopard tracks, also all within 50 meters of one another. So there could have been some interesting predator interaction that we missed out on in the earlier hours of this morning. Looks like they've taken this pathway over here. There's a small pathway, and there's also the leopard tracks here. So leopard and wild dog tracks right next to one another. What I'm going to try and do is actually reverse to show you, because it would be nice to see. You should be able to get those. Get these two here, right here. So over here we have the leopard tracks. They clearly have got 3 lobes at the back pad. That's not the best drawing, but it's a 3-lobe back pad of the cat. And then over here we have the wild dog tracks. So wild dog and leopard right next to one another, and I assume, well, I know the leopard's taken this. The leopard did take that pathway, and I think the wild dog's potentially as well too. So we'll head off in a different direction now. good prospects for this morning, folks. The one tricky thing with wild dogs is that they do move incredibly large distances in very short spaces of time. So even if we knew where they were sleeping last night, they probably got up at 4 o'clock this morning when it's still a little bit dark, which gives them a 2-hour head start on us. And now in 2 hours, wild dog could comfortably move 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles. I mean, huge distances in search of prey, and then once they do find prey, they chase them down relentlessly until often their prey completely tires out and is exhausted, and then the wild dog can take them down. It's so good to be back out, folks. We've had a few issues with the vehicle, so neither myself or Mark were out, so now we are taking turns, which is better than nothing, but still a bit frustrating being out here and not being able to explore. So very, very good to be out again, especially on a beautiful morning like this, with the potential of seeing not only wild dogs but also what looked to be a female leopard. And that's just within the first 10-15 minutes. We've already been given all these signs that there are some exciting predators moving through this area. Now the tricky part is finding them. But we've certainly got a chance. We certainly do. Doesn't sound like any of the other game drive vehicles are out yet, but as soon as they get out, I will both give them an update on what we've seen, and then shortly after they've started being out for a while, they will also start providing us with updates as to what tracks they may come across or any interesting intel that may provide us with useful guidance as to where to go. What we're doing now is heading in the general direction that I thought those tracks did head in, down a game trail. Those tracks did head in, down a game trail. Folks, I am just going to give a quick radio update to Tex and one of the other guides who's just got out. It may cause interference with our broadcast, but it's imperative that I do this. So Please excuse me, please bear with me. Morning Texan, Scott here. There were trucks of Madanch around Aubrey's via tele-access.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us.
Welcome back folks, sorry about that small breakup. I'm not sure when the broadcast did cut out folks, but we are still in pursuit of these wild dogs and also leopard, both tracks of which were heading in the same direction. Hard to tell exactly which animal moved in this direction first, but we are certainly in an area where we could come around any corner and find leopard or wild dog. Okay, well it appears that we do have more tracks of the wild dog here. Okay. There's a little road junction not far in front of us, and I'm hoping try and get onto that little bird there. Beautiful little bird here, folks, that we'll just enjoy for a few Oh, it should fly back to that termite mound or into the general area there. Oh, look, there's a blue wax bull on the termite mound. Stay on that termite mound there, and I'm hoping that what looked like a cinnamon-breasted bunting, which was the first bird we saw, would come back, but it's fine. The blue waxbill that we are looking at is an incredibly beautiful little bird, and a lot of these smaller birds, unless you do manage to get a close view of them, it is hard to appreciate their beauty. I'm just trying to establish exactly what it is feeding on. Could well be some small termites. Okay. One of my favorite little birds, the blue waxbill. Okay, well, no sign of them heading down this road, so through process of elimination we can kind of assume that if they didn't take one road, they would have potentially taken another, and if not, then there's nothing we can do, sadly. If they've gone all through the bush, all we can do is keep track of the general movement they've been going in and keep looping ahead. And that's what does make it exciting and what does make it difficult for us to sometimes locate animals. There's large tracts of land between roads and the road networks, and often in these big tracts of land or blocks of land, bless you, Jason, okay, it appears that they have headed down this road, folks. And the good news is further down this road, there's often a very large herd of impala. And at this time of the year, Wild Dog will focus most of their hunting efforts on impala because they've got lots of young that are relatively easy for Wild Dog to catch. So possibly they've already chased these impala away, or possibly we will see them in action hunting. Okay, well, Texan's just arrived, and good for you guys to see how we do work together. He has just approached this road from a different angle. Morning, Tex. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. Morning, folks.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Morning.
Okay, I think I saw one or two trucks coming north.
Because there it's also one that is trying to there might be close to that.
Already, yeah, because there was some on Balanites coming towards that clearing, and then I've seen a few coming up this way, so maybe they've just been all over,
Yeah,
but west.
Up and down.
anyway, we'll keep trying.
Yeah.
Have a good one, folks. We're going to keep on going. We'll catch up a bit later. Thanks. Okay, beautiful black-bellied bustard that Jason was showing you guys. Well, I just caught up with Texan, so he said there was also a few tracks coming from the direction he came from. They often do split up when hunting wild dogs. They can end up miles and miles away from one another actually when they do start hunting, because they may be chasing individual prey items from the same herd. But they were here this morning. Well, now that the initial excitement of the leopard and wild dog tracks has subsided to a degree, now that we've established that they could well have already crossed out of our property. We are quite close to our boundary here, but we can just slow things down a notch and see what happens next. The beauty about this area that we work in is that space is typically not too much of an issue. So even though we've worked this area this morning in the hope that we would come up with either the leopard or the wild dogs whose tracks we did have earlier this morning, even though we didn't find them, it's not a huge issue because there's so many more roads and places to explore and discover, and that is where we will head off to now. Where exactly, I'm not sure yet. Kind of inclined to head past Gowrie Dam or Vuyatela Dam. We've probably had our highest amounts of leopard sightings since we've been in and around that area. And if we make it there and we don't find anything, then we can simply choose another spot to go and explore. Oh. That bird that you can see flying away, that Romeo did a very good job to find. And now you see that was a drongo that chased it, and the reason why it chased it, either a drongo or a starling, was because that was a cuckoo that was perched very close in perfect morning sunlight until we stopped, and then it took off. But cuckoos are parasitic birds, so they will lay their eggs in other birds' nests and therefore are not tolerated welcomingly amongst the bird community. And that's why, as it landed in that next knobthorn tree, it looked like a fork-tailed drongo came down to chase it away. But it was either an African cuckoo or a common cuckoo, very difficult to distinguish between the two. Well done there, Jason, on managing to catch its final movements. So Jason is on camera this morning, folks. I apologize, I forgot to introduce him this morning. So it's Jason on camera and Alex is in control. And Viam and Mark have the day off. Really pretty birds we have right close to the vehicle here, called crowned lapwings. And as you'll see as Jason gets closer in on one, they do have a very, very distinctive crown. Beautiful. And they could well be nesting not far from here. They do nest on the ground. Literally their eggs will be laid just on the sand, no nest structure whatsoever. And you may think that this may be risky and dangerous, and it is, but their eggs are so well camouflaged that unless something stands on them, it's highly unlikely that anything will find them. So the crowned lapwing, previously known as the crowned plover. A happy couple that are an all-out nesting. If we did come close to their nest, what they can often do is pretend that they've got a broken wing or some kind of injury and hobble away, hopefully diverting your attention away from whatever you were doing around their nest sites. And they drag you away, and they often do that with predators that may be getting close to the nest. They pretend they're injured, hobble off, get the predator's attention, and as the predator's far away from the nest, far enough away, they just back to normal and fly off or carry on undisturbed. What you got there, Jason?
That's a bird away.
Okay.
Bird away. Bird's day.
It's a birding day, okay. Okay, Jason. So this is the main access road that we drive along every morning to get into Djuma, and it is the same road where we found the wild dog tracks. There was initially elephant tracks, which are still here. Sorry, Jason, I know the angle's not good for you, but I'll try and work your magic there. Just got some beautiful animals, folks, that I've personally not been able to show you, and this is a wonderful opportunity. What we have here are some dwarf mongoose. Now there's 3 that we can see, 2 on the bottom left and 1 on the top, and as you can see, they are just waking up, enjoying the sunshine. They would have slept in this termite mound that you can see them lying on now, and it's an old abandoned termite mound that they have now come in and excavated. There's a 4th one now on the bottom right of the screen coming out of a small hole in the termite mound. Oh, this is beautiful. They're popping up out of everywhere, and they'll be inquisitive just to examine what is going on here. One of the smallest little carnivores in Africa, folks, the dwarf mongoose. So, an interesting title to hold, being one of the smallest of the predators on a continent that has so many extremely large ones. And they live in these termite mounds predominantly in this area, but can also use fallen down trees and logs as bases or sites. They'll have 20 potential gaps that they can use probably within one territory of a pack. So we won't necessarily find them here every morning. They may move between different mounds. can see how one or two just kind of increased their attention or alertness a little bit when I made that noise, and it's my imitation of their alarm call. It's certainly not a good one, but that is why their ears did prick up very slightly. Tex, could you go with that message again, please? Confirm they're at the gate now. Yes, I did. I was doing my reboots. Okay folks, sorry if we broke down there again with the broadcast, but I did need to chat with Texan on the radio. He has managed to find these wild dogs, and we're not far from them, but we do have to go quickly to get to them to ensure you do get a glimpse. Like I said earlier, they don't hang around, so we do have to move quickly. Probably about 30 seconds or 45 seconds away from us if we travel at this speed. That doesn't mean we'll find them, even though we're still this close, because they can shoot off so quickly. Are also close to a boundary where we cannot go, which means if they do go there, we just have to wave goodbye. But here we are, folks. We've got them, and they're coming straight towards us, folks. Straight towards us. Beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. And the good news is they are heading in the right direction. I'm just going to turn the vehicle around. Well done, guys. Awesome. Okay, folks. Well, we've just hit the jackpot here. So, well done to Texan for finding them. Now there's just 5 individuals here that we can see, all of which look different to the 3 that Mark saw yesterday. They could well be part of the same pack, but hard for me to tell because I haven't spent enough time viewing them, and this is actually the first time I have seen wild dogs since I've been here. So a very special morning for me, and they are doing all of the right things for us. They're heading in the right direction and just allowing us to look at them right now, which is great. I cannot stress how lucky we are to have found them, and I did try and make sure of letting you know that even though we found their tracks this morning, managing to actually locate them. Now we can hear the audio of other dogs, that's why their ears are pricking up. Okay, now to try and stay with them as they move through this thicker vegetation, what I'm thinking is going to be our best bet is to actually loop ahead of them as much as we can, but it isn't going to be easy, folks. Hold on, everybody. We are just taking a shortcut here. Oopsie. This is an old quarry that would have been used for building a few years ago. Now it is providing us a chance of moving easily through the bush, and I'm fairly sure here they come. So that was lucky. They don't always do what we want them to do, but this morning they are, folks, and they're going to come running straight past us. Beautiful. Look at this. Now I thought I did hear audio of another animal in this direction that they're coming in, which is quite possible. They're coming right up to us here, folks, running straight past the vehicle. This is incredible. Really, really wonderful, folks. Again, we are quite close to another one of our boundaries here, but we are being spoiled with such great visuals at the moment that even if they were to disappear now, we could consider ourselves exceptionally lucky to have seen them. A very characteristic smell, wild dogs, and I've just got a big whiff of it, and it's so good to have my nostrils filled with that wild dog scent again. It's unmistakable. Just going to try and make some space for tech who did so many these animals for us. It really is interesting watching them move now, because they are very up and down in this area. I'm not sure what they can smell or what they're looking for, but they all do look like quite young members of a pack. There's none that look like they could be an alpha male that I can see. And wouldn't it be nice to know what is getting their attention here, what they are smelling. They are moving in circles, essentially. And this is wonderful, folks. Just such good footage. And what you can see is how effortlessly they move and cover distance. Come two more. Okay, get those ones, that's fine. Sorry folks, they're just literally surrounding us, so we don't know where, and coming so close to us that it's making filming a bit difficult. So we'll just let Texan pass to us in a... Oh no, we won't, they're coming back again. So we'll just try and turn our vehicle around so that Jason doesn't have to film through the back of it. But they are moving in circles, folks, which for us is actually a good filming tool, but it means they're not running away from us. When they do, stay with them. Okay. Just now walk in a westerly direction, which is good for us. Just going to the road here, folks. It's always a bit of a gamble trying to predict what these animals may do, especially when they're on a mood like these ones are now. But thankfully, it's fairly open. So to travel in that way, Jason can zoom in and pan them when they get the opportunity, which
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us.
check. Where the hell is that thing going? That was awesome. I don't know which road to take. Hold on, folks. They've just come back onto. See, they did cross away from us, but one just came flying past us, and I couldn't actually see what it was chasing. This is a second. First individual, but that first animal was flying like a rocket. It's hard not to be excited in these situations, so do bear with me. We literally thought they had gone, they crossed over our boundary, and sorry about the hiccups, but then as I thought, okay, well it's time to move left, we just saw one individual rocketing past us, which was really incredible to see. And let's see if the rest of the pack don't follow. One member did follow, but they can bombshell if they did come across a herd of impala. They may have all chased one individual, each individually chased a different individual in different ways. They don't always hunt as cooperatively and planned as people may assume they do. Sure. If we don't have any luck in the next few meters, I'm going to be inclined to want to turn around. Just keep an eye out for Texan, Jason, because he was ahead of us. Okay, I think it's probably going to be our best bet to turn around. Let's go a little bit further. They just move so incredibly quickly that it's... Okay, see a stump that looks like a wild dog.
Yeah, there's a stump.
Yeah, well spotted though. It's a very wild dog-like stump. Okay, I think we should turn around, Jason. Because that one individual could be anywhere. So let's go back to where we last saw the rest of the pack and see what happens. If I could choose one animal to follow on safari, folks, in terms of adrenaline and excitement, you do not get a better animal than the wild dog, the African wild dog. And I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. It's difficult, I know, with the transmissions and to show you the animals, but you get an idea of how quickly they move just simply by taking notes of how much ground we're covering. I'm fairly confident we will find other members of the pack milling about, just waiting for the individual that rocketed past us. I'm not sure what it was chasing, or potentially even being chased by these members of a pack. It could have been a different member of a different wild dog pack. Yeah, there's one down there in the shade. That's good. We'll go and stay with that one and see what happens thereafter. Okay. Okay, well, as you can see, it appears that they may be having a short breather after what I'm fairly confident was a short hunt that they would have undergone. We couldn't see what one member was chasing, but it was certainly chasing something. It was moving at an incredible speed. And we can see these three members in shots, and then there's another one slightly to their right, which is just looking north towards where the rest of the pack headed. Now again, it's something worth bearing in mind that they've probably been awake for close on 3 hours now, during which period they would have been moving almost constantly, as a calculated guess. So 3 hours of constant movement, they would have covered many miles and deserve a short break that we can see them enjoying now. It is also getting very hot. So the combination of the heat and the fact that they've been running around since, in all likelihood, 4 o'clock this morning, is the reason why they are having a short break here. Now, in all this excitement, I didn't actually count how many there were. Was it 6? Yeah, I think 6 is the figure that comes to mind of how many were here initially. This individual in the background is showing signs that it may have heard something or may want to move off, but it is showing intent looking to the north. I'm fairly convinced that the individual that rocketed past us in a southerly direction earlier will come back to this area where we find ourselves now to rejoin, unless it has already managed to rejoin. Or the third potential variable is that it was a member of another pack simply wanting to get out of here before it got itself into trouble with these individuals. Now, I find that unlikely, but it is a potential theory. There's been a lot of wild dog movements in this area, and from as far as I'm aware, it sounds like 3 or 4 different packs that are kind of all overlapping on one another's home ranges. They don't have strict territories like lion and leopard do, or as strict as lion and leopard, should I say, rather than the fact that lions and leopards have got very strict. They're all relatively loose, I think. It's not cast in stone, a set territory like it would be for us with an exact fence line. There's a few more grey areas with animal territories, but with wild dogs, they've got home ranges, and they can be huge. They don't necessarily have set demarcated territories, and the reason for this is because they do cover such large distances. A question from Carolyn, I believe it is. Morning, Carolyn, and welcome on board. Very lucky morning to be sharing with one another here. And Carolyn's asked, which animals do wild dogs hunt? And the answer to that is not a set animal. They've got a very wide variety of prey items that they can feed on, depending on the area, depending on the size of the pack. But in this area, impala-sized antelope would be their main prey, as far as what I've seen in the time that I've spent in the Sabi Sands. And at this time of year specifically, the baby impala would probably provide the majority of their food. They are easy to catch, easy to eat, and the wild dogs do exceptionally well when it comes to hunting young impala. I've seen sightings where they've managed to kill 4 or 5 in one chase, one event. So they do have a wide variety of prey, but what needs to be understood about wild dog and their prey is that they often run their prey down to a point of exhaustion. Not always, but often the prey are really, really tired by the time the wild dog do bundle them over and then start feeding on them. Now, even though they are quite small animals, the wild dogs, due to the fact that their prey is so tired and exhausted by the time they do get brought down, they can't put up much of a fight, and therefore this allows these dogs, which are relatively small predators, to then often disembowel and tear their prey apart alive. They don't suffocate their prey. Very often it's more of a tearing and ripping affair, so not easy to watch wild dogs hunting once they have caught something, because it is often quite a gruesome affair. I think the other dog could be coming back. I can just see them all facing to the south. And I think I can hear Texan coming back in the other vehicle, so he maybe managed to stay with that other individual. Let's see if we can just change our angle here in case we do get the other individual coming back. This could well be the end of their morning activities. They may get up and move a few hundred meters or keep shifting around to find shade, but I'm guessing that this is the end of their morning activities, so until this afternoon we can expect them to probably not do too much. We will stay here for a few more minutes though, certainly, and enjoy watching them, because like I say, they are exceptionally hard animals to find. They're highly endangered, and since I've been here, which is just over a month now, this is the first time I've seen them, so that hopefully puts things into perspective for you guys, and will also help you understand why I left the dwarf mongoose in such a hurry earlier when I heard that Texan had found them. Their ears are unmistakable characteristic of theirs. And you'll notice they do swivel those large ears around from side to side. I think now mainly to get rid of flies, but they are also used to rejoin with other pack members when they do bombshell in different directions when hunting. Those huge ears certainly will help in them relocating the rest of the pack through their vocalizations, or simply from general audio of whatever they may hear that could help lead them back to pack members. So an integral part of their lifestyle are these ears that allow them to relocate one another. They don't use them for hunting as much as you would think potentially, so it's not a adaptation for hunting, but like I say, for relocating pack members. And potentially another theory would be to pick up the audio of any potential predators like lion that may be sneaking up on them. Sadly for wild dogs, especially in this area, lion often tend to prove their biggest enemy or biggest threat, and once the pups start running with the pack from a young age of about 3 months, we sadly often hear of them being lost to lions. But these big ears will certainly help them in detecting any lions that may be creeping up on them. The problem is with wild dogs is that because they move so quickly through the bush, they can often get themselves into trouble. They could run into a pride of lion. I've seen that once before when wild dog were hunting along a grassy airstrip and they were chasing impala from one end of the airstrip down to the other, and there was lion waiting at the other end of the airstrip completely through default, and the lioness that was closest to the wild dog in front chasing a baby impala literally let the baby impala pass by a few meters. It would have been very easy for her to have caught that impala, but instead the lioness left the impala and waited for the wild dog to take a few steps closer and then pounced on the wild dog. So this is an example of how they can come unstuck with lion, and with their hunting techniques or habits. Now it would be interesting to know where the other pack members are. We can see these 3 lying here, and we know for certain there's another one not far from them, but where the other 2 are, if my memory was correct in that there were 6 initially, means that there are 2 missing, but again they could be nearby under any one of these shady bushes. Folks, I think because we have had a great sighting here, that I don't think they are going to do anything more. It would be nice for us to make space and allow some other game vehicles into the sighting, of which I know there are a lot on the way, now that it's been established that they aren't going to be going anywhere and they are going to be lying up here. So we will leave them, but there's a strong chance we will come back here this afternoon in the hope that they will continue to perform for us. Sadly, this is a boundary road, so where they are lying now, if they continue in a northerly direction, we will not be able to follow them, but there is a chance we could see them this afternoon. If not though, I think we've had such a wonderful sighting this morning that we really... Oh, there's one that just chased off. Oh, look at this impala coming straight towards us. Straight towards us, across the road, across the road, across the road. Okay, that impala looks tired. Here come more. Here we go, folks. As we were about to leave and thinking everything was done, look what we've got. Hey, hold on. This is incredible. Look at this. Trick is not to over a wild dog. That impala was very tired, folks, so I think they are going to get it. I could be wrong, but the impala looks so tired, and now we need to find a way in here because it's thick, so we need to stay with them. Oh, this I think is our spot to try. Okay, hold on folks, this could get a bit bumpy, but I think they are going to get this impala. It looked tired and they were well rested. Just going to switch off and listen. Okay, can't share anything. We will just keep creeping through, and then hopefully some pop. I did have a vision of them not very long ago, still heading towards where we are. So those other pack members that we couldn't see, where have they gone? Are they coming?
There's one over there waiting.
Okay.
There's another one behind it.
Okay, cool.
That one.
Or maybe that impala got away luckily, but hard to tell because these pack members that we can see around us here may simply have been left out or left behind in the hunt, and now they are stopping and listening. And by us stopping and listening and watching them, if the other pack members did manage to take down an impala, these individuals that are lagging behind will lead us to it. Oh, that was crazy, folks, coming running straight past us. I mean, those other two pack members literally through default, I think, managed to herd those impalas straight back towards their sleeping companions. Oh, I thought they were going to get that impala, and still may have got it. So it's difficult for you to see, folks, but there is one wild dog that we can see ahead of us in the thick bush, and we are just going to try and stay with it. At least if we stay with one, it may lead us back to other pack members if they did manage to take it down an impala. Woo! Wow, this is racing, folks. I sadly don't know what you got to see out of that whole sequence.
Neither do I.
Neither does Jason. But I hope we did manage to show you at least the impala crossing the road with the wild dog running behind it. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I've just got an update from Alex letting
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us.
Any updates there, Alex? Folks, welcome back. From what it appears, and again, sorry for the breakup, it appears that they haven't been successful, but there's a few members of the pack now just stopping and listening with those huge ears, like I did just mention before, and they are listening for any signs of other members, and especially a successful member of the pack that may have brought down an impala. But judging by their body language, I think they may have failed that hunt, even though I thought strongly that they were going to manage to take down an impala at the end. There was one individual that looked very tired. But it appears that they haven't had any luck this morning. I am in a tricky place to show you better views of this animal, so I apologize for that. And we have got ourselves into a spot that there's only kind of one way out of the same way we came in. We can find a gap here, potentially. That'll work. So we can see one individual looking out to the east, and well, I can't believe how crazy that was. So the two members that we were wondering about their whereabouts were obviously still off looking for potential food, and they managed to find some impala that, again, through default, folks, there's no ways they would have been able to herd them towards where the rest of the pack were lying up. But literally, where those other four pack members were having a little snooze, the impala came running past, and then we did our utmost best to try and keep up with them, but it is difficult to keep up with these animals, especially when they've got an impala in their targets, and through vegetation like this, we're lucky to even have managed to keep up with them to this point. So again, our luck continues, and just a great reminder to everyone, including myself, that by spending time in sightings, you get rewarded and you get lucky. I was moments away from leaving the sighting for various reasons. I did think that we had got the best out of them that we were going to get this morning. I wasn't convinced that we were going to see any major action like we did get to see. And also to make space for other game viewers that would like to come and view these animals. And I would have been highly frustrated if we did leave this special scene any earlier than we did. Genevieve from New York has just asked why all of their tails are white on the end, and wild dogs have all got slightly different markings, but often do have a white tail, and they can often have a lot of white on their actual body. It does depend on the individual pack and the individual within that pack. So this is obviously a dominant gene of this area that causes them to have exceptionally white tails, but there's no specific reason that I know of for them to have these white tails, and it does vary between different wild dogs in different parts of Africa. So there's no set reason for that, Genevieve, but it is a good observation. And what would be nice over the coming weeks, if we do see more packs, is you can see slight differences, or even within the same pack you can see slight differences in coloration and coat markings. It's hard to believe that we were sitting in a situation similar to this a few minutes ago, before the chaos ensued. And like I said earlier this morning, if I could choose one animal to follow in Africa for pure adrenaline and excitement, it would be these animals when they're hunting. The ideal form of transport to follow them when they're hunting would probably be a jetpack, where you could fly above the trees but at a speed fast enough to stay with them. So a small jetpack, I think, would be the ultimate in terms of following wild dogs hunting, but sadly jetpacks haven't got to that stage of development yet. And even when they do, I'm not sure how happy the wild dog would be with a human dangling above them with a jetpack on. But it is literally the only thing that would guarantee you being able to stay with these animals because of the incredible speeds that's. So let's see a slightly different angle here. This individual that we're looking at looks like it's a youngster. It could be coming up to a year of age, roughly. And I assume that from its body size and also just the fact that it's in such good condition, it doesn't have too many scratches and scars on its ears and on its face. So it's possibly one of the youngsters from the last litters of pups that was raised. Some arrow-marked babblers babbling away. In the background there would have been that bird call that you could hear. Very pretty birds, but quite secretive, so we don't get to show them to you as often as we get to point out their very characteristic call. The good news about this, folks, or this last movement that the wild dogs did make, is that they moved off the boundary road, not very far, but provided they don't move again, it means we could start off the afternoon with a viewing of them. And typically in the late afternoon, when they do wake up from their midday slumber, they perform a very intense ritualistic greeting where they kiss and lick one another's mouths and jump around, and there's a high-pitched whimper that they let out, and really a special scene to experience. So with a bit of luck we will be watching that this afternoon. Not that this morning's over, but it is something to look forward to this afternoon. Whereas where they were lying earlier, was on the boundary and not the ideal place for us to try and re-establish a sighting this afternoon. I just find it phenomenal how they manage to relocate one another after they have bombshelled in different directions. These two members here are just sitting patiently, knowing that they'll get found at some stage, and they're not too concerned. They are listening very intently though, as you can see from their ears that are swiveling around from side to side. Phew, it's hot. I'm very jealous of them being in the shade. Myself and Jason aren't in the shade, and we are panting at an equal rate to the animal you are viewing. What I'd like to do is try and stay as long as we can to just establish if the other members of the pack do manage to rejoin you, and it'll just aid in us finding them this afternoon if we know exactly where we've left them this morning. So I think it is a worthwhile investment for us to stay with them as long as we can, which is until 9 o'clock, but rather than as long as you can, as long as we need to. And then let them be and move off and see what else we can find. So Jason just asked me to roll forward a bit, folks, so that's what I did, and that's the shot you got. So we're just going to go back to where we need to go. Okay. Sorry about that. We're just trying to give you an angle where you can see both of them. So well done, Jason. Now you can see a good angle of them. Okay. Well, I think it is time for us to continue. I can hear another game vehicle approaching, which means that if they do move at all, which I highly doubt, we will get an update as to where they will be this afternoon, which will aid in us hopefully viewing them again. They will certainly be hungry this afternoon because they do not appear to have had a successful morning. And in terms of strike rate, they are a very station on Sandy Patch. Come in. Okay, copy. I'm not sure if you saw them, but if you just turn around, you might. Yeah, if you just head back, and then I'll call you in. You've gone past. Okay, folks, I'm going to help call. Because if you head east from there, you should find us.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of the...
Okay, well, we'll just give you one last little glimpse of these beautiful animals before we head out. Sorry for the breakup in signal. But I don't think they're going to go too far from where we are now, and our plan is at this stage is to come back this afternoon and see if we can find them. Good. Now, how did we get you in the first place? Very thick in here, you can take some. We somehow managed to turn. Okay. Everything that belongs to us here? Yeah. Sure, it is so hot this morning, folks. Establish what to do next. Apartments. A cup of tea and egg stretch would be best for me, but we're not gonna do that. We are gonna continue to show you as much as we can, whatever they may be.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us.
Welcome back, folks. Sorry about that short breakup again. We have hopefully got through the worst of that little bad patch of reception that the wild dogs decided to do their business in. And now we are on our way to Buffalo's Hook Dam along our northern road. It's an area where Vula, the big male leopard, the territorial of this area, to spend time, or I have seen him here. So he's one of the characters that we bump into. Such a privilege to be able to see these animals, folks. They really are a difficult animal to see when you do come out on safari in Africa. I know people that have been coming on safari for 20 years consecutively and never seen wild dogs, so that is something I managed to see this morning. And on top of that, to emphasize the beauty of the sighting this morning, the fact that we got to see the vehicle, see them so close to the vehicle, running around, moving around, chasing impala. I mean, we got a full show barring a kill, but we had an exceptionally good quality sighting, and that for me obviously makes a big difference. They weren't just sleeping under a bush, they had us entertained, highly entertained. Jason just told me it was the most exciting wilderness experience of his life when we were tearing after them towards the end when they were chasing the impalas. So good to understand how fortunate we were to see what we did this morning. I have just got a report on the radio now. Another vehicle did find the other 4 members of the pack, and they appeared to be heading back towards where we left those 2 individuals lying down. And I'll just continue to keep monitoring the radio to establish exactly where they are left eventually. Thanks very much for the questions that did come through, folks. It is difficult to squeeze in answering questions and fielding questions when we are on a sighting like that, but we do appreciate all the questions you do ask us, and please feel free to ask us more questions at #SafariLive on Twitter and questions@WildEarth.tv or the email option.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us.
Welcome back again, folks. I cannot stress. Sorry for these breakups in transmission, but it is what it is, and you didn't miss out anything. some hippo tracks heading on this, so likelihood the members of the hippos live at Buffalo Dam, not far away from us. They would have returned to the dam in the early hours of this morning after a night out of grazing.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and
Welcome back, folks, again. Sorry, I'm just listening to the Game Drive channel. Okay, so welcome back. We are on our way to Buffalo's Hook Dam, and it's not far ahead of us. I've just found a different little road that I haven't used before, which is going to bring us out to a different area of Buffalo's Hook Dam that we're used to arriving at. So it'll just be nice to see a different view. And good for us to know these little sneaky two tracks in case animals are on the move to different areas. Now I know that we can get to this side of the dam. Sadly, what I've learned is that to get any decent view of the dam from here is difficult. We'll just meandering around until we do find a better view. Just be able to cross the river to this dam. Okay, yeah, this is looking good. This is a hippo trail. That is the main pathway that we're kind of driving along. Main track of the water every evening. cost wasn't further. Ourselves into a little bit of a jam here. Now, with a little bit of luck, we're going to be able to cross over here. But it's not looking good. We'll simply just continue back to the main road and then take the usual access into Buffelshoek Dam. A little exploratory journey of ours. Sorry, you okay? Better to not know that this is a difficult area to maneuver around, but it's a good track for us to know. The more we know about what happens between the road networks, the more it allows us to follow more effectively road. Okay. Bless you. No, there is a nightjar, a very pretty bird, that I've noticed sleeping in the same place on this road that takes us towards Buffelshoek. Slow, so I can try to remember the exact same in that way and focus in on the bushes. They keep on the ground during the day. They're incredibly well camouflaged, but if you know where they sleep, there's a chance of showing them to you. So that is what we're going to try and do in the next. not sure if this is the spot. I'm just going to get my binoculars out and have a closer look and see if it is indeed the place where we've seen this bird sleeping. No, I'm not convinced it is. Maybe around one of the next corners. I need to remember that I thought it was the old bird was hiding out during the day. Having said that, though, that I can't remember, I think this could be the spot. So I'm just going to get out and have a look. You might be able to see it flutter up. And I also just want to check if there's any chance that there's potentially a nest here. No luck. Like I say, I certainly have forgotten where it was, even though I thought I knew exactly where it was. Possibly, well, the excuse I'm going to use is that the vegetation is growing and changing at such a rapid rate that what looked like an area that I thought I'd recognize is now developed and grown into something directing. The time of the year, the vegetation are driving at Buffalo Dam on the ring access road. The two sightings on that side of the dam, but those are the main roads that we are on now, which will certainly provide with a spectacular view of the dam and what may be inflicting it.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us.
Welcome back, folks. You don't- we'll be able to do the tech wizards forward.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us.
Welcome back. Yeah. A bit of luck. We were in the before landing. And mud pumping. Such a beautiful road, this. Golden Yard Road, one of my favorites. Haven't had any major sightings on this road, but I'm sure it won't be long until that happens. Get ready there, Jason. The bird we can see moving through this fallen down knobthorn acacia tree is a Burchell's kukul. Beautiful bird and often fairly secretive in its ways, so this is a wonderful view of a very pretty bird, a predatory bird that does a lot of nest raiding in order to acquire its food. It eats chicks a lot of the time, but any other small invertebrates and rodents it will feed on. I've once seen one flying out of a nest with two small doves dangling out of each set of talons, which was quite a sight because it could hardly carry all that weight. So it was a ambitious maneuver trying to carry away the two chicks to feed on, but it did. This one here though seems to be focused on preening itself and making sure all those feathers are in tip-top condition. We can hear fish eagles calling in the background. I'm not sure if you can because they are a way off. Let's see if they do it again. That's my whistle impersonation. Far from perfect, but gives you an idea of what to listen for if they do call again. Very pretty call. Characteristic call of Africa, the fish eagle, African fish eagle. And speaking of bird calls, the bird we are looking at, the Burchell's kukul, also has a very distinctive call. It's also known as a rain bird. People say that when you do hear them calling, it's a sign that rain will come. I don't agree entirely with that from my experience with them. But what I do agree with is that their call does sound rain-like in a way, I guess. It's almost like bubbling water or water being poured out of a bottle. Again, just my impersonation, far from the real thing, but it gives an idea of roughly what the Burchell's kukul call will sound like. I'd be highly surprised if it did call for us now. But wouldn't it be great if it did? Okay, well, I was hoping we might get to see it jumping around looking for insects or small mammals, but it seems to be focused simply on cleaning itself, so we will leave it to do that. The Burchell's kukul. Mr. Burchell did have a lot of animals named after him. There's the Burchell's starling, Burchell's zebra, Burchell's kukul. Just to know a few to mind immediately. There are more, and I know that, but within which that information is being stored is currently unobtainable in my brain. So we'll just leave it at those. Mr. Burchell obviously did find a lot back in the day, and quite Quite an interesting piece of equipment that the animals use out here. And while we are roughly on the subject of cleaning and grooming after watching the Birchall's Kukul, we can have a closer look at this rubbing post. Now, you'll notice it's very smooth and it's been worn down over time, and this would have been from animals like buffalo, shorter animals, warthog, that would come and rub themselves over this stump. And this tree is a leadwood tree, so it's a very strong tree and a good tree to use as a rubbing post, because it's not going to go anywhere over the years. It's going to stay there for many years and just become smoother and better for rubbing oneself on. Sometimes you get lucky and can find the hairs of different animals on them, but in this case we didn't have any luck. I'm not sure what that hornbill's caught, but it has caught something. You can just see it. Looks to be a little worm dangling out of its beak. I'm going to get my binoculars onto it and try. Oh, now that, folks, is a centipede, which is venomous and quite a nasty subject, and that's possibly why this hornbill is treating it with a bit of care before swallowing it. It's going to probably try and dispatch of it and make sure it's properly dead before it attempts to swallow it, because these centipedes can bite and they do have a venom in them. It's incredible how they use those massive beaks to so delicately hold on to and dispatch their prey. It's probably deciding now that it was maybe a bad idea to pick on the centipede, but I'm sure we will get to see it consume it, unless it's keeping it as a present for a mate, or potentially it's raising some chicks that it's going to take that off to for food. Oh, no, it looks like just trying to make sure that it's dead, which it does appear to be. Who knows, maybe the nest is very nearby and it doesn't want to fly to the nest to feed either the female or the chicks who would be enclosed in the nest. They do enclose themselves in cavities in trees, so maybe it is nearby and he simply doesn't want to show us where the nest is, and therefore is waiting. Oh no, is he going for it there? No, he's just repositioning. But very interesting nesting habits the hornbills use. The females will enclose themselves with mud and excrement into a small cavity just in a tree, leaving a small coin slot with which the male can then deposit food in for the female. And then once she has incubated the chicks for about 14 or 15 days and then raised them for a similar period, she then breaks out of the nest and then helps the male in acquiring enough food to feed into the chicks, and then they in turn will break out of the nest when it's their turn to do so, once they've grown a little bit more. And unless he's just had a very successful morning hunting, I really do think that he could just be waiting for us to move off before he drops it off at the nest. I find it bizarre that he sat here for so long without consuming it. Looks like he's about to fly, so let's see what he does. That he sat here for so long without consuming it. Looks like he's about to fly, so let's see what he does. Oh, well, either way, whether he was full-bellied or hiding his nest location from us, we're not sure, but he did catch a centipede, which is quite an interesting break. I could think of other things to eat for breakfast than a centipede. Well, it's a delicacy. Okay folks, well there's half an hour left and I wonder what it has in store for us. Oh, I just smelt the very strong and characteristic smell of the scent mark of a leopard. It smells very similar to buttered popcorn. The problem is there are other cats like Jennets that do have a similar scent. Establish if it was a leopard firstly, and we'll do this by checking for tracks along this road, and if it was a leopard, which direction it was heading in. It is getting difficult to see the tracks on the road at this time of day due to the sun more directly above us and therefore not casting a shadow across the track, which does help greatly in spotting them on the roads. There's no immediate sign of any tracks here, but like I say, I could well simply not be seeing them due to the substrate of the road and the sun being directly above us now. Certainly worth an investigation though. It'd be nice to go back to WildEarth Dam now and see what's happening in that area. There was a great sighting that Mark had yesterday afternoon of two spoonbills, which are birds with a very spoon-shaped bill, and also a yellow-billed stork, which were hunting cooperatively together, the three of them, in the shallows of WildEarth Dam, so they could still be there. We just saw a hornbill flying behind us with another small kill of sorts. It was hard to tell what it was, but the hornbills are having a successful morning. The leopard tracks that we did find this morning, close to those initial wild dog tracks that we had, certainly looked to be like a female leopard. I could be wrong, but if they were a female, there's a strong chance that it could be, which is great. Marks around it, and he comes in. The more we have her moving on our property, the better. The game when I've seen. Can I tell you how nice it is to be out here exploring? on this specific trip, and it's something that I really would love to do, is spot a leopard up a tree. It is also wonderful to watch them climb up a tree if you're following them, but driving around, the nice thing about spotting a leopard up a tree is that you can do it from very far away, because we're just looking for that strange silhouette or shape with the vertical tail or vertical limbs hanging down. And that is what I'm doing now, is I'm scanning all the horizontal limbs of marula trees, which have got thick, comfortable horizontal branches on which leopards love to sleep. And it's nice and cool for the leopards once they are elevated in the trees, not blanketed by the grass. Well, sadly it appears like the spoonbills and yellow-billed storks, or stork singular, that was here yesterday, moved off. But what we do have are some big old Cape buffalo, old bachelor herd, and at this time of the year, it doesn't matter which waterhole you go to, it typically has a few buffalo bulls relaxing and wallowing in it during the heat of the day, as I certainly would if I was a buffalo. This is where I would be. And then something a lot smaller and cuter than the Cape buffalo are the family of Egyptian geese that we've been watching over the last few weeks. All 7 chicks are there, fast asleep it looks like, while the parents keep a lookout after them. And there have been 7 chicks from the get-go since the first sighting we had of them. So they're doing an incredibly good job raising their young, as there are a lot of predators out here that would certainly take a chance in trying to get one of those goslings. I'm just using my binoculars to scan under all the shady vegetation in this area to see if there isn't an interesting character lurking right beneath us here. But so far I have had no joy in finding anything of interest. The wind is picking up, which is good for now for cooling us down, but I do wonder what it will hold for weather this afternoon. It has been a few days since we've got rain, good rain, and when the wind picks up like this, it can often indicate that the bad weather is on the way. Bad weather for good broadcasting, good weather for plant life if you're wanting to grow. So rainy weather as opposed to bad weather, I think, would be a better way to describe it. Okay, well, we've got a few more minutes left, so we may as well continue exploring and see what else we can come up with. There's a bird called an emerald spotted wood dove. I can't see it. Oh, no, I can. Let me try and reverse a bit. Because it's just let off its call, and it's a beautiful call from a very pretty little bird. Oh. It's going to be very difficult to show you the bird, but you will definitely be able to hear the call. Have you got it there, Romeo?
Can't see it.
So you see this dead branch that's kind of growing towards us?
Yeah.
If you go from the edge that's closest to us, if you go about half a meter towards back down the branch, just underneath that branch in the acacia tree, you can see it sitting there just below that. Higher up, left a bit. Oh, there it is, like slap bang in the center of the screen now. Down a bit. Cool.
Oh, there.
So folks, it's not easy to see, but there is an emerald spotted wood dove in there, and it is calling, and it's quite funny when it does its call again. You'll see how it changes its body position. It's a very small dove relative to the other doves that we get in this area, but beautiful looking and has a beautiful call. So we will just spend a minute or two listening to it. It really does have to use its whole body to fill up with air, which it then expels to create that beautiful call. And it's competing with another one not far away. So it's just completed its call now. Another one's going to start calling not too far away. Beg your pardon, it's the same one that's just building up to a crescendo. Okay, well, I'm glad you've got to see a glimpse of the emerald spotted wood dove. It is far away, so hard to zoom in on, but I'm glad you got to see it calling and hear it calling. Okay. Okay folks, just 10 minutes left, so let's keep our eyes peeled. It's not over yet, there's still a chance to find something exciting, and if we do, we will continue broadcasting, that is for sure, but we do need to find something interesting beforehand, before we can cross that bridge. Just a track in this dried out mudwaller that I'd like to have a closer look at. It's a predator track of sorts, but I'm just trying to establish which one. It's not fresh, this is purely for interest's sake. But difficult to establish exactly what it is. It looks like it is a hyena though. Can you get that wasp down there?
Where?
Just on the edge of the mudwaller.
Okay.
There's a little wasp. Ah, they're drinking, I think. Oh, is that as low as you can go, eh?
As low as I go.
Oh, well, the wasp has left, but there's a small wasp that was collecting mud from this little dried out wallow with which to make its nest. What is that thing slithering in there? Oh, it's a bug. Shame that's got...
So what is called?
Oh, that's exactly what it is. Very interesting. Well spotted. I'm just gonna get a little stick to show you guys this insect. It's sadly chosen a bad place to live because this is dried out now and it's now got stuck, but I am going to show you this animal. All I need is a stick. So this creature, folks, is an arachnid of sorts, and it's called a water scorpion. It's not actually a scorpion, but it is a very interesting animal that is aquatic, and sadly here its home is dried up, so we're just gonna try and help it on its way. Usually we wouldn't have got involved in any way, but just to show you this animal, we did.
You put it by your left foot.
Yeah,
I mean your right foot.
this one.
Yeah.
Just saying, it was stuck in the mud, so we've taken it out, but that is nature, and we will just leave it there to continue with its day. But interesting little creature known as a water scorpion. They are aquatic, but sadly this one's home has dried out. Interesting. Didn't expect to see one of those there. Okay. Interesting little critter. Well spotted, Romeo. Okay. Come on, Karula. Where are you hiding? Now, if the back to the female leopard tracks from this morning, if they were indeed Karula, they were heading towards the quarantine clearings area roughly, and this is an area where she does frequent a lot of the time, so we will maybe just try and squeeze in one loop around quarantine now, just to see if she's not lying up in one of the marulas, as she would have done on many occasions. I've heard lots of stories about Karula and great sightings that she has provided guests of Juma as well as guests of WildEarth, so she's a very well known and well documented cat, and it would be wonderful to spend some time with her before we leave here at the end of January. As so far she has been relatively elusive. I wouldn't say elusive, she just really hasn't been spending too much time on this property as far as we're aware of, and this could have been for the reason that she's got two sub-adult male cubs. They're coming on 2 years of age now. They are 2 years old. Oh, I had to swerve there last minute to make sure we didn't run over a very nice creature which you're about to get a view of. Now look at our awesomenesses, folks. It's a chameleon behaving like a pointer. Now, for those of you that don't know what a pointer is a kind of dog. It's used for hunting. It points out birds. You get an English and a German variety, but that position that it was doing there was very similar. Now we get to see it slowly dancing its way across the road, and now this is a safety dance that ensures that it doesn't look like a regular animal moving. It looks like potentially a leaf or a blade of grass just blowing in the wind. So that, together with that cryptic camouflage, is going to go a long way into aiding this chameleon not getting swooped down on by any birds or any predators for that matter. It really is beautiful. Watch closely its markings. They shouldn't change too much, but it will certainly change as it dances its way through. And they move the same way as we can see them moving now when they are up in trees, again to simply prevent being detected. Thankfully they're not perfect at it, otherwise this one would have got squashed because it was in the middle of the road. This is awesome. And we've got 1 minute left, folks, so I'm hoping that he is going to be able to cross over within the next minute, but at the rate he's going, I think he will. The end is in sight for him. Absolutely wonderful, folks. Well, what a great way to finish this morning's drive, and thanks so much for joining myself and Jason and Alex on control. What a wonderful morning we had with the wild dogs. A really, really fortunate morning, and we must remember that and cherish the memories we share with the sighting. And until then, take it easy, and we will see you a bit later. It'll be myself and Jason and Alex again. So